हैं बादा मस्त बादा आशा में अहमदियत चलता है दौर मीना ओ जाम अहमदियत.
MashaAllah. Yeah, Harry, we're just talking about just how we're catching up after Jalsa. Uh, and we'll just go straight into actually the discussion about Jalsa. I'll start off with you, Harun, because I know you have a few stories to tell that maybe didn't get heard. So Harry, just tell us a little bit about usually what you do in Jalsa and how was it different this year and some incidents that you probably experienced that people didn't hear about.
Oh, Rabbi Sab, on the spot a bit there.
Oh,
I mean, Assalamu alaikum to everyone,
yeah.
first and foremost. Yeah, I mean, the weather really, Rabbi Sab, really made this year's Jalsa different. If it wasn't going to be different already with the COVID-19 situation and all of the extra checks and everything that came with that. But if I'm honest, with you from a personal perspective, Rabbi Saab and all of the brothers, I didn't think that Jalsa was going to be on this year. I thought, that there's the everybody knows this or should know this, but apparently Hazur asks everybody in Rabwa to prepare for Jalsa every year, even though they know it's not going to happen. And I thought that this was going to be one of those situations where we were going to be basically put to a test, really, because of the COVID situation. And very, very last minute, we were going to be asked to basically tools down tools. But I think up until our final meeting in preparation for Jalsa, I just had the realization that this is on, really. So that's the first thing from a personal perspective that I thought, wow, actually, with the COVID situation, this is a massive, massive attempt on a health and safety point of view that we're going to do this, inshallah. And obviously, with the blessings of the Khalifa, that Alhamdulillah, it was just one of those miraculous jalsas, really, that, with the situations that we were faced with the weather, that Alhamdulillah we got through it, and it's that old tale, where regardless of whatever is put up against us and whatever challenges we face, no matter how big, Allah always finds a way. And that was ever more evident with this Jalsa. I mean, can you imagine, at one point we had over 1,500 cars that literally every single one of those cars needed pushing out. It doesn't matter. You see, I've recently bought a 4x4 car. It was absolutely nothing to do with Jalsa. I didn't know that the weather was going to be like that and the terrain would be difficult. It's just Allah's plans, really, if you want to call it that. And I came onto the site a little bit arrogant. We could say my car will be all right with this, right? 4x4 Jeep car, off-road mode, no problem. But as the brothers on the call will tell you, Rabbi Saab, it don't matter what car you were driving on that, with the hills and the terrain and the way that the rain had affected the grass. Oh, you want me to start the video? 1 second. 1 second. I just seen that. I thought my video was on. Sorry.
Also,
Yeah. So whatever car, doesn't matter whether it was a Range Rover, the 100 grand Range Rover, top of the range, whatever cars were there, they were struggling. And the brothers who were there will tell you some really good stories. I mean, I drove onto the site and I thought, you know what, drop your it don't matter whether you're driving a Mercedes or whatever, you need to just park up and leave it there and don't mess around for the rest of the day, because you're going to be embarrassed if you're arrogant. And the brothers will tell you who were there. There were some really, really, really funny stories of heroes, we call them, right, who just, we're just looking at them just drive through the car park and we're thinking, what are you guys playing at? And they were even telling us, some people were, don't come us and push us. We got 4x4 cars. Don't come near us. We're good.
no,
We're good. And we just, where the blessed tree is, Murabi Saab, at the top of the hill.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
see all of the car park on that side. Car park 1 and 2, the disability one, and we were just standing there laughing half the time at just these guys, just and bachare, you know, some of them were in salwar kameez as well, right? And so it's like, what are you doing? A, driving through the car park, and B, not preparing your dress accordingly, you know. So, you know, the brothers on the call will remember the Jut number plate car, the BMW X5, who drove all the, and they were just driving around the car park like it's summer, you know. And anyway, so that was one particular story. We ended up pushing him in the end. You know, he ended up calling for our help, and you know, Nazim
You
Saab
broke
was
his
there.
ego.
Nazim Saab was there going, you know what? We won't go yet. Let's let him. Let's let him suffer a little bit. The understanding of what he shouldn't have done, really. Yeah. And so in the end, we were always going to go, and so we ended up pushing him out. So there was lots of stories like that. You know, people who just saw the terrain and thought, yeah, you know what? I've got 4x4. I was very, very early doors. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just park. I'm going to leave my car there because I don't want to be embarrassed. You know. Um, the one story that I want to just relate, because I don't want to take up too much of the time, but the one was, I've actually given an interview on Jalsa Connect for this particular story. So if anybody's seen that, then I'll just go over it again for anyone who does. There was one really heavy Mercedes E-Class. It was one of the old school classics, rear wheel drive. Really, really low. The person who owned it had lowered it down, and that makes things more difficult because of the center of gravity. The closer you are to the ground, the more difficult it is to push a car out of a ditch that it's made. And this particular brother was driving out, and he had, I can't remember the Murabbi's name, but you will definitely know him, Murabbi Saab. He had to go to Germany, and they need to take him to the airport. But
Yeah.
he was in such a deep ditch. It's
Right.
like we would given up after, like, there were 15 of us easily. There were 15 of us, right? Anyway, Nazim Saab came and he says, guys, we don't give up. There is no way that we are going to give up. And you know, this Murabbi as well. I mean, I don't think he was late, but it was kind of pushing it where if we didn't get this car out, he would have needed to look for alternative methods to get him to the airport.
Yeah.
So Nazim Saab came and said, listen, guys, let's all read Dua Durood Sharif Padhte hain. Inshallah, this car is coming out, right? Even the driver, I mean, the driver was a hefty car at one stage. We were saying, actually, you're the fault, really, why this car is not coming out of the ditch because of him being quite but he was, you know, alhamdulillah, you know, I have to say as well, just on a side note, that all of the attitude of all of the guests were, mashallah, this year, spot on. Lots and lots of dua, lots and lots of kindness and understanding, you know, with the job that we had to do. But yeah, this particular driver, he was a thora mazaki tha. He was a funny kind of guy. He was, I think he was from, I don't know if one of any of the brothers on the call, but he's one of the regions that are doing Berun, you see the outside bit of the Berun side. So he was a duty guy as well, but he said, look, guys, I don't think this is happening. So Nazim Saab came and said, listen, guys, Druji Padhte hain, sare dua padhte hain, and another 4 or 5 guys just come, because that's how it would work. Is that there were groups of 10, 15 of us dotted around the car park, right? Just going to the car. These guys had just pushed out another car, so we had another 5 cars. But you know, alhamdulillah, the Durood Sharif, the duas that we read all together, this car just miraculously just rocked itself, obviously with the pushing out of a ditch. And by the end of Jalsa, you could say now the car park team are complete experts on how to get any car out of a massive ditch because of the learning that we did across Jalsa. But lots and lots of stories, lots and lots of mud on our faces, lots and lots of funny times as well, you know, the difficult times, but funny times. It reminds me, Rabbi Saab, of the hardest duty that I've personally done is I've done hygiene, right? From back in the day, the duty that I used to do before sort of car park dues hygiene. But the good thing about hygiene is that we were all together cleaning toilets together, and that made it a good laugh, a good sort of camaraderie. And it's exactly the same on the car park issue. It was hard work. We were pushing literally nearly every car out there, some evenings until midnight, you know. But alhamdulillah, Allah was with us. The camaraderie was there. We had good leadership. We were all in it together. Some of the young lads are an inspiration, really, you know, for some senior Khuddam like myself. Looking at some of the young lads there, by the grace of Allah, you know, we got through it, Rabbi Saab, and you know, a big up to all of the brothers who were there with us and enjoyed it, you know. But I tell you something, I got football tonight, and my back is still killing from Jalsa. I don't know how I'm going to last tonight, to be honest with you, because it took its toll.
Yeah, I'm sure Hamza will have something to say about that later on. But brilliant, Harun. What you're saying is actually spot on. You know, just about you know, the reason why Khuddam come and give time for Jalsa, and the reason why we all come together is firstly to sacrifice our time, but also, you know, to get into the nitty-gritty of things and, you know, get our hands dirty. And we say that, you know, people have become soft, they don't want to do these things anymore, but I think this was such a beautiful description of, especially us guys in the West Midlands, you know, coming down every single year and doing the car park duty. But I think the rain was a blessing. Like you said, the attitude of all the guests was, everyone was humble, everyone wanted to come to Jalsa and enjoy it. And you guys being there in the car park and, you know, pushing everyone out of the mud was a completely amazing experience. And I think we can say that now more than any other time, because as Hazur himself said in the Friday sermon today, you know, he highlighted as one of the first things after thanking all those people who are on duty, you know, the very first people that he mentioned were those people in the car park.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he said that their work didn't go unnoticed. So no one who was on duty in the car park duty should ever feel like Allah didn't see their work or people didn't see their work. And obviously we shouldn't do it to please people, but it's just an added bonus that Huzur said that even MTA were there and they managed to capture not just you guys, but even, you know, Sadr Saab, Khuddam Namadir, who also came and who also made the pictures, who's, you know, it's a great part of himself. But you guys were all there, you know, right from the 3-4 days pushing the cars. It was just amazing.
Rabbi Saab, sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to go on mute and turn my camera off. I've got to pick up my missus from the train station. So,
No,
but
right.
I am listening, all right? So,
just don't get stuck in the mud.
no, I am listening, though. I'm on the call.
Yeah, brilliant. Jazakallah for your input. So just I'm going to play a video in a short while, but Hamza, I know you just jumped off the camera. It's fun if you're able to just come on for a second. So I'm looking fresh, nice haircut.
Oi, Dari and that.
Yeah, the last time we saw you, a bit mayhem.
Oh no, it was before Eid, wasn't it? It was before Eid, it was a while ago, about a month ago, I think.
I think it just came at a good time then. Yeah.
Hey.
But Hamza, we saw some amazing pictures of yourself as well. Probably against your will, I'm guessing. But
listen, I don't even know who was taking those pictures, but they weren't taken with consent. I'll tell you now. There was no consent taken for those pictures.
I think I know who it was as well.
It was one of the Murabbiyan, in it.
I don't know. I thought it was Sadr Saab.
I thought it was Sadr Saab, but he took some other ones without consent as well. I need to get them all back and delete them all. Get them all off social media.
Oh man.
Weird thing to talk about consent. Like, I ended up in Religion's video. I only did like 5 minutes work. I was in the car park because my car was stuck, right? So I thought, well, let me like find the guests are gonna need priority. Like, when my car's stuck, I'll just leave it where it is. Leave it, and I think I probably pushed 2 cars. The rest of the time, I was just managing traffic, like away from all these other legends.
Ibrahim, too much humbleness.
I was watching. I end up pushing them to
I was watching that interview when they were pushing out the media van of the Review Religions. When Osama started talking and his mask was on, I'm like, I swear I know who's I swear I've heard his voice before. And like, but you couldn't obviously like whether or not he's wearing his mask or not, like you could still recognize it.
Yeah, this is the beautiful thing. This is what the Quran says, that Allah chooses who He gives respect and honor to in this world, and it's completely Allah's choice. You know, if we can do, like you said, 5-minute work, and MT just happened to be there and make it look like you were the guy, the face of all of the work. But this is just, you know, you should just say Alhamdulillah and thank Allah for giving you that respect. But also obviously pray for everyone else who you know that we're doing all the hard work in the background. But yeah, Hamza, that picture was beautiful, man. All the mud on you, all over your body and everything. Well, how many cars did you have to push for that to happen? Leading up to that. Well, I think you're on mute, sorry.
Sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think for those ones, it's just being unlucky if it's a rear-wheel drive car. And then if they're putting a lot of gas on, the rear wheel just spins and all the mud goes everywhere. So I think I was just in the wrong position to get all that mud on me rather than doing that much work. Just in the position.
You were just rolling around in the mud, mate.
Literally like in the back corner on a rear wheel drive car, and it just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
That was just unlucky more than anything else.
Actually, I had the same thing. Yeah, I don't think it's even the front wheel. Sometimes the mud will just splatter all the way towards the back as well.
Yeah, I think if you're on the window, the window with the front wheel drive, then you're finished.
then you're,
and if
you're
you're if you're in the corner of the corner of the back tire on a rear wheel drive, then you're finished as well. If they put you,
Hamza Saab, you muted.
Yeah.
I'm unmuted again. My bad. Yeah, I was saying basically what Qasim said. If you're on the window, on the front window, on a front wheel drive, then you finished.
Yeah.
Same on the back for a rear wheel drive car in the corner.
Where's the best place to start? Next time we should know.
Right in the middle, man. Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. You're safe there. You're safe there.
Inside the car, I guess.
You guys weren't just pushing. You weren't just pushing forward. You're pushing backwards as well, even to the side.
We have to do a rock motion to get it out.
Yeah.
Or just whatever the expert driver said. Like I think Taha's on the car as well. Whatever they guided, we just did what we were told, innit?
Yeah.
These guys, they almost had it down to like knowing. You see the make of the car, and then they already knew where they needed to be. And if it's an S-Class, just give them 5 minutes, let them understand what the mess they've got themselves into, and then wait for another 20 for them. And if you've got 20, you'd have a chance.
Yeah. I was a bit in the Harun situation where I left the car park and I thought I'll be fine. You know, I could see the pavements, the pathway is flat and everything. Literally, I just left the car. I just pressed the accelerator and I was stuck straight away. And I got told before, if you get stuck, don't press the accelerator more because then you just dig yourself a hole. And unfortunately, I started doing it. I thought I could turn to the side a bit. that was gone. But it was beautiful. What Hazur said.
But he had big Waleed pushing. Yeah, we had Waleed at the back pushing everyone when he was there for that day.
Hazur said something really beautiful today when talking about the car park duty. He says, when it's like we're all one body, and if one thing wrong happens, then the rest of the body comes and tries to assist it. And that's what I felt. When I was stuck, I could just feel like blood cells, they rushed to fix a wound. I felt like that, like 5-6 people just came out of nowhere and they just started pushing. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Oh, you got adrenaline.
Yeah, it was alhamdulillah. It was really good to see. But it's good to from your sides. Hamza, is there anything that any inspirational thing that you saw due to this year?
I think just quite a few of the cars were quite tricky to push. We pushed a Range Rover right in the corner of one of the car parks one of the days. And we didn't think we were able to get that one out. But it was also the driver's fault because he had it in neutral, I think. He had it in neutral. So we put it into drive and we got that one out. I think seeing quite the 4x4s. Then my dad got his car out by himself. Actually, he just went forward. He's got a big 4x4 as well.
Yeah.
And my dad, he doesn't like get taken help. Sometimes I have to do it himself. So he just managed to get out by himself, and we didn't expect that to happen. But he's got the experience for the driving to get out by himself somehow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, stuff like that was pretty amazing to see.
You feel like a proper king when you get out yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I think he's the only one who I saw did it. He made like a ramp himself, going forwards and backwards. So he got some momentum going backwards, and then he managed to find another route out. So he just likes to do it himself, basically.
Yeah, it got to the point where even the tractors were stuck. Especially Saturday, it was just parked there, and it was like 4 or 5 inches deep.
Mashallah. Qasim, as you're on the call, how was your experience this year in Jalsa? How was
I mean, it was my first time doing parking duty, so yeah, it was really tough, but it was really rewarding as well. I mean, I'll narrate some incidences. I mean, on Saturday, especially the National Sadar Saab sent the whole team in the Jalsa parking lot some donuts, so we had fun just eating donuts for like a while. There was a brilliant story behind them. So the Nazim was kind of they were giving reports, and Nasha Sadar Saab asked that, is there anything that you need from us? And so Nazim Sadar Saab said that he needs support. So Nasha Sadar Saab kind of turns around towards his back and say, इनके लिए थोड़ा बहुत इंतजाम कर दे. And then Nazim said, no, I meant we need people support. But anyways, they got the donors as well, so that was people enjoyed that as well.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, blessing in disguise. Also accidental blessing.
Yeah. There was one story with Harry. You know, he's got his quad bike all the time.
Yeah.
Driving around. This time he had to buy another one this time actually, because his first one he left it you know in the barn by the gate on the other side. He left it there, and Jolo, we don't know exactly what happened, but he couldn't find it again. So he got a new quad, and then I think on the Sunday he let a few people ride it, but anyway stops working. So he gets you know
he got stolen.
He says he got stolen. Challo, he got stolen. He got stolen. Challo. Yeah. So then with that one, first he got Barzik to have a look, because Barzik's doing some studying in mechanics. He's doing an apprenticeship. They tried a few little different things, but they couldn't get to work. Then Nadeem, by, you know, Birmingham West, he's also a mechanic, like a lot more experienced. Then he came over. He found out what the problem was. Something with the carburetor, which is getting sorted now. But at the time, the quad was very dirty, very gunda. And Nadeem Bhai basically said, whack it in the car and take it back to Birmingham. I'll sort it then. Really dirty.
Yeah.
And it would have ruined Harry's car if we put it in as it was. All the tires, everything propaganda. So then we basically, it's very light though, so we just rolled it down to the barn side, and there's a Nazim, there does the jet washing. And this Nazim, lovely guy. He every year he gets loads of people coming to him saying, can you jet wash my car? Can you jet wash my bike? This and that. He always says no, because obviously it's strict criteria. It's for the deck, just for the food stuff, isn't it? And then for the first time, Harry went up to him very nicely. He was like, look, this is the situation. Car parks there, yeah. And he knows how much work we've been doing, how much we've been grafting and that. And I think this is the first, he's been doing it, I don't know, years, 5, 10, maybe even more years than that. And he's like, look, I've been doing this for a long time, but for you guys, I'll sort it out for you. So he let us go into the jet wash area, the deck chair in one corner, all the stuff in one. Okay.
7 years.
7 years. 7 years.
7 years he's been doing it, yeah. And that's the first request, Rabbi Saab, that he's granted outside of a DHK in terms of what they've been. Yeah, it was really, really, it felt like, you know, that was God's intervention as well, really, because it was an impossible situation. If you'd have had to try and even wash that down with a hose pipe, Rabbi Saab, you would be there for hours. But
days, man, days.
So, the video in the football group, I think, if you saw Rabbi Saab, that video of where they jet washed it, alhamdulillah, mashallah, within minutes. And you know, that Nazim, it just felt like he was an angel from God at that time, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. And
he's
then
probably the guy that took your coat back the first time.
He washed it down, made it look spotless, not a spot on it. Then
you got it
in the car. Yeah, got it in Harry's car after.
You owe him a ride next year, definitely.
I think you took his number. He'll do something nice for him, I reckon. I think you gave him a call of thanks or something.
If I could share one thing, there's one thing that stuck out for me from my time when I ended up in that car park, was just something which, you know, you see there's no kind of what's the word, where, you know, the people that are in charge, they're not being patronizing or in any way. There's no, everyone's brothers, right? There's only they all to just work at a level. So I mean, I happened to be there just because my car was stuck, but you know, after a couple of hours, we eventually had like 3 Naib Afsaran that were there. So the Majlis obviously was there. You had people being pulled out the offices and stuff, saying, look, right now, the most important thing for Khuddam on site to be doing is getting all these cars out. And yeah, it didn't matter what Nizam it was. You know, people were turning up and, you know, just they chucked on a poncho that hadn't done any duty, like all Jalsa. But for those you know, for that hour, for those few hours that they were there, it was all about the guests, right? And everyone was just like, look, whatever just needs to be done, let's just get it done. I mean, Shajil Saab from Nottingham, he at one point was covered like head to toe, literally head to toe in mud, like you could not see a clean spot on him. He just turned around to me, and like my GT was in walkie-talkie. He turned around to me, he showed me walkie-talkie, just as if someone just dropped it in a puddle of mud. And he's like, "Yeah, Ibrahim Sab, I'm probably going to need a new walkie-talkie." But it's just, you know. But at the same time, he just kind of, you know, got the mud out his mouth and carried on, went to the next car. Just to see that attitude from everyone was, you know, if that isn't inspiring, then it's at least, you know, it's you can understand that, you know, there comes a time when, okay, well, you know, all these regions and what have you will come together, and then to see everyone being able to like leave all ego aside, leave whatever else to one side and group together and get the job done. That was really amazing.
I was going to ask you, Ibrahim Saab, as well, because we haven't really seen each other for so long now. You know, over almost 2 years. How was that feeling of, you know, suddenly on the most extreme level of having all the brothers together and, you know, working together? How was that feeling, and seeing everyone working together as well, and just observing from your point of view?
Well, the honest answer is, to start with, I was public enemy number one, because I hadn't given everyone the batteries that I needed to that morning. So I then turned up and I was like being a bit sheepish, but alhamdulillah, it almost just like clicked straight into gear straight away. Like having like been in Midlands and then not being part of the Midlands team necessarily, like the last couple of years at Jalsa, is always, it's been a bit weird anyway. But at least I was able to feel that, okay, I was at least able to contribute something to the regional GT, and, you know, getting stuck in there. But at the same time, it just like clicked straight into gear as well. It's almost like, you know, once you get that team of people together, you know, we know that you just go into that Khuddam, Bukhari type mentality of like, let's just do it. Yeah. I mean, these guys must have been sick of each other, right? If they were like staying in the same spot day after day. But yeah. I was able to at least, you know, do my bit.
Yeah, mashallah. What I saw is when I was there, it was chucking it down like crazy, and you know, it wasn't even normal rain. It was like heavy showers, and it would last for like 5-10 minutes, and then it would stop, and then it would start again. But just seeing everyone just standing on their posts, and, you know, still having that motivation and energy just to come together and, you know, carry on pushing was something I've never ever seen in my life before.
Yeah, and I was doing a battery round during one of those kind of downpours, and with the, you know, reduced budget, reduced manpower, I was out on foot with another one of my team. Probably not the best time to be carrying like 30 electrical batteries, but it was like that rain was something else. It was almost like, you know, it just literally was absolutely tipping it down. And then when it decided to stop, the people around us were like, "Oh, it's like Allah just turned the taps off," and that stopped in a second. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, well, mashallah, brilliant.
That's actually not a bad way to describe rain in UK. Yeah, tap, just a working tap.
Yeah, it definitely did feel like someone was turning the hose on. At least when I was there, anyway. I just want to get the view of someone who was experiencing Jalsa from home. I know Muslim, I know, because you're underage. How was the feeling for you? And how was Jalsa this year for you?
Assalamu alaikum. It was like, I listened to the speeches a lot better than I would have when I'm actually at Jalsa. Yeah. Because like I was sitting down, and then also on MTA they show you like everything that's going on properly, which you like don't get to see when you're actually there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I just missed being with everyone as well, because normally you're just with everyone in it, and then couldn't do it this year.
And what was your feelings when you were seeing these pictures of our boys, you know, pushing the cars in the car park and getting so much media attention?
I wanted to be in it.
Yeah. But did you feel like it was a feeling of sacrifice for you, that obeying what Zura said, and you would love to be there, but through obedience you can't?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Mashallah, Jazakallah. I think you weren't even allowed to come to the mosque, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Oh my days. Yeah. Remind everyone how old you are.
17.
17.
Yeah.
1 year off. Inshallah, next year you'll get the chance to go. Inshallah. Zishan as well. Zishan, I think you were there for a few days, yeah? Zishan, if you're able to unmute yourself.
Yes, I was there from Thursday. Yeah.
From Thursday, sure. And you probably experienced pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, so my duty was actually inside in the command center, but did spend most of the time in the car park as well, trying to push the cars.
Isn't it strange? One of the pictures was your car being stuck, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and this guy stopped driving my car, and I didn't even know it was stuck. And I saw the picture, I was like, that was my car.
Another example of 5 minutes of glory of not even being in the duty, but catching.
But Abhisar,
yes.
I just want to say, what was also quite special about this year's Jalsa is we probably take it for granted. This is the first event that we've actually come together as a group of people to do any Jamaat work in 18 months maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how long, but that was again another special moment because I haven't seen these people outside of virtual on the phone, on the camera, in person in that time. So again, it was just that extra added special. And actually, for me personally, I've really missed it. I mean, you know what? If Guide Saab called me tomorrow and said, there's some Bukhari Amal going at the mosque, I've got a good taste for this now because, this is a special thing that we, outside of the Jamaat, we don't have this. You have your work situation, your colleagues, and meals out and all this and that. But this is how special this was just a really, really unique feeling that we've missed for the last 18 months, Yar.
Yeah. This is what I was saying. This was asking Ibrahim about that feeling, because we're going from one extreme to the other extreme of just being thrown into the deep end, and everyone just suddenly remembering how to do Qarimal and what we need to do. But I think it was nice to see that everyone still has that passion and motivation to, when we're called upon, we're always there to help. And you boys in the Midlands, we don't need to ask you how much service you already do, but alhamdulillah, it was really nice to see that, and for all of you guys to have that honor of being mentioned by Huzur indirectly for doing that duty. So credit goes to you guys, mashallah. It just shows that when you're loyal to the Khilafat and when you're loyal to your badge and duty, Allah will always reward it in some way. So long may it continue, inshallah. Jazakallah. I just want to go, if Sabur is on, usually doesn't unmute himself, but if you can unmute yourself while we're talking, that would be brilliant. And anyone else, if anyone else has any experiences that they probably want to share, I don't know who I can go to. If not, then we'll go to the next segment, which is the news.